Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me, Brandon, back again with another prediction video for E3 2018, and this is the final prediction video of Sony. This is Sony's predictions. I'm very certain they're going to do a good job this year. Like I said, I'm not too nervous about them because they've been doing just an excellent job since they released the PlayStation. So I'm very curious, and I have a really good idea of what will be shown at Sony's E3 this year. I think especially with the past week or two when the head of Sony announced that yes, the PlayStation 4 is at the end of its life cycle. We got about 3 or 4 years left. I think they should definitely address that and be like, hey, totally get the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. They're doing great, but we know they're at the end of their life cycle, probably looking about until maybe 2020, 2021. That's when the PS5's coming out, or the next generation. But we're just letting you know that we still have this to go from. So they're just going to announce that, acknowledge that, yes, the end of the PS4 is here, and it's happening now, which is really hard to believe because I feel like I just bought mine not too long ago. But then they go ahead and start announcing some other games and projects they have been working on. They will have a short segment, as always, where they will talk a little bit about VR titles for the PSVR. I haven't used my PSVR in quite a while, but there are a lot of games out there now that do interest me that I'm probably going to put on that headset again to try out this summer coming up, so I'm very excited for that. Onto the big games for Sony. Sony has a huge catalog of really good exclusives and good games that I think are on their way for sure. I think, in no order, the games that will be shown, I think, is easily Bloodborne 2. There was a teaser at the Video Game Awards back in December of a From Software game with like this bone twisting on this thing, and that was it. So I'm assuming we're getting Bloodborne 2. I'm not sure if it's going to be in like a Gothic London again, or maybe it's going to be in like a Gothic Japan. Who knows? But I think Bloodborne 2 is a really good idea because a lot of people love that game. I really like that game. It's just hard as hell for me. But it is a smart idea, and I think a lot of people will be really excited for that. And of course, Last of Us 2, which is going to be a big pull for a lot of people and gamers in general, because when Last of Us came out in about 2013, that game took the world by storm. People were crying, people were falling in love with this game, and they have the right to do so. Last of Us is an amazing game, and I think the sequel is going to be very interesting. It is a game that I don't think needed a sequel, but Naughty Dog knows how to work and make magic, so I'm pretty certain The Last of Us 2 is just going to be another hit for them. I'm very certain we're going to see gameplay for sure, but I'm not sure who we're going to see, and even what the release window for this game will be. I'm not even sure if this will come out on PS4, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be either one of those weird dual launches where it comes out at the end of the PS4 and then also onto the PS5. Not sure. I don't want to think of that now, but that is a game that's definitely coming out that a lot of people are excited for. I think they will also address God of War and how successful that game is, and I think there's a really good chance that we may have a DLC chapter. I don't know how long the next God of War game will be or when it will come out, but I feel like it's going to be a really long time. So just something to hold us over for all the people that really did like God of War and want more. They will probably make a DLC chapter or a mini like story about an hour and a half. Who knows? I think that's a good idea. I'm not crazy about single player DLC. I kind of just like the whole game. I'd rather just sit down and play a whole nother game. Days Gone, we'll get more gameplay, and then we'll finally get a release date for that. I'm assuming that's going to be a 2019 release, unless it does come out this fall, maybe like in November somewhere. I'm really excited for that game, though, because Sam Witwer's in there, and Sam Witwer is an awesome dude. Then we will see Sucker Punch's gameplay reveal for Ghosts of Tsushima. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. If there hasn't been gameplay already, I'm not too certain. I haven't really been caught up to date on that game. Next, we're going to see something about Spider-Man, and I think this is just going to be a little bit more gameplay, maybe some web swinging around the city and showing some city dynamics. I don't know, maybe weather and just showing off graphics, but I also think we will have a new villain reveal. As for who the villain could be, I'm not sure. I think Mr. Negative is a really good idea because it's somebody you don't see often. I'm curious to see if they do pick another villain, who will it be? The third-party games are where I'm really excited for Sony's E3. These games could show up at Xboxes or they could show up at Nintendo's, but I really doubt it, especially with the history of some of these games. The first game on my list is Devil May Cry 5, which is a game series I love to death. I just replayed Devil May Cry 3 again on the Xbox One through the HD collection. That game's amazing. The Virgil, all the bosses, the writing, the humor, it's perfect. Devil May Cry 3 is perfect. And I love Devil May Cry 4 as well. And the original Devil May Cry is good, but replaying that now, oof, my gosh, that is a different game from when I remember it from the PS2 days. But with that being said, I love the characters, love everything about it. Fingers crossed. We need to see Devil May Cry 3, Dante return. Hopefully Virgil will return and be a very important character, as long as with Nero, Lady, and Trish. The next game is another Capcom game, a game I've been waiting so long for, and that is the Resident Evil 2 remake. They confirmed that this game was being made maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I was really excited because at that point they confirmed that almost all the games were coming to next gen. Revelations was on its way. Revelations 2 was, if not out already, on its way. And we are obviously getting Resident Evil 7, which we got last year, which was amazing. I loved Resident Evil 7. And we have literally almost all the Resident Evils on one console now. So now to get Resident Evil 2, arguably one of the best Resident Evils, if not the best, depending on how you look at the series. This is exciting. And supposedly, from rumors, it is the best looking Resident Evil to date. So I think it would be really interesting if they had Resident Evil 2 shown, obviously with gameplay. But the cool trick is, if this works, you have 3 perspectives to play this game. You have the original fixed camera, so the traditional Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica, those kind of games where you are looking in the corners of the rooms and you're walking around. You're going to have the over-the-shoulder, so similar to Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, which I think is going to be awesome if you can do that. And then there's going to be a third perspective, and that third perspective is going to be Resident Evil 7's first-person perspective. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. I think if you do that way, you're going to need to change the game, and it's a mode you can't switch between. So obviously, if you're playing in fixed, that is how the game works. If you're playing in over the shoulder, that is how the game works, and same with first person. So if there's enemy spawns, I think they're going to have to be a specific generation or regeneration and plot points and how it works for each perspective. So I assume if you're playing in fixed, the zombies are going to be traditional, how you expect, but if you're playing in over the shoulder, maybe it's a little bit more actiony. If you're playing in first person, maybe it's a little bit more tense and fearful, like Resident Evil 7. Not sure. I think that if they did it that way, oh my gosh, Resident Evil 2 would be an absolutely amazing remake. I think it's a pretty good idea that we're going to see Spyro Trilogy gameplay. Not sure how much, but I'm pretty sure we'll just get a little sizzle reel of it, and that's going to be about it. I don't know if they can ever top that Crash reveal like they did 2 years ago, but nonetheless, I mean, more Spyro. It's another mascot. I think that's really exciting. And then on the also other topic of mascots, I think we will finally see Medieval gameplay and possibly a release. That could be a 2018 release. It's a game I don't think a lot of people are looking forward to be honest with you. I didn't really care for Medieval on the PS1, but that is coming. There is a remake in the works. I also think we will see Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay. I don't know if the release date will be shown at Sony's. I think that would be more of a Square thing, and I think Square is also doing a like similar to a Direct. It's a pre-recorded stream, so they're going to have their own little thing going on too. But Kingdom Hearts 3, I think, is almost a given for Sony. Also, on the topic of Square Enix, I think it's a really good idea. We're going to see Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Final Fantasy VII is really having a weird deal right now. They said it was going to be in parts. We haven't seen the game in so long, but they still said it's coming, or it should be coming. I just hope this Final Fantasy VII remake is good and breathing, and because that's a game I really want to play. I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy. I appreciate all the characters, appreciate everything that series has done for video games, but it is time consuming to say the least, similar to Kingdom Hearts, but I have played the Kingdom Hearts games and I do love them, and that's where I know some of those characters. So we will see about Final Fantasy VII Remake. And for the show ender on Sony's conference, obviously I think it is going to be Hideo Kojima and Death Stranding. We are going to see the first official gameplay reveal for that game, and we will also get a special trailer, and I think we will finally get a release window. This is one of the few games of this generation that I've seen at E3, and I think there's a really good chance this is a PlayStation 5 game. I totally get that it will probably come out for the PlayStation 4. It'll probably be the swan song for the PlayStation 4, that being the last big game, that and Last of Us 2, I would assume. However, I can see Death Stranding being that game that keeps being shown, and we keep getting more and more of it, because every time we see it, everybody's like, what is going on here? This is so interesting, blah, 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 blah. What is this? And I think the more we have that, the more people are going to be like, oh man, this came out, what is it for? And then they're like, oh, PS5 next year or whatever. I think people are totally going to buy it and buy Death Stranding. But I think Death Stranding is definitely a dual release, if that, but it's a game that I think everybody that is really a hardcore gamer or knows of Hideo Kojima and just the people working on that game as well, they're so interested in this. And what is this game? Because it is really exciting, it's mysterious, it looks weird, it's intriguing, it's creepy, Guillermo del Toro's in it, like, it has all of the writings to be an amazing game. And Sony really has their hand on some just gold right there, and I cannot wait to see Death Stranding, and I think I hope it just blows everybody out of the water, which is a good and bad thing, because I am really excited to see what the other competition of the other companies have, but I think Sony with Death Stranding alone is just gonna wipe the floor, because that game looks nuts. And that is the end of my predictions. I know I'm not doing the EA, the Bethesda, and the Ubisoft, but I will probably react to them sometime next week. Again, I'm sorry last week that I didn't have a video because I was not feeling good, but I have like 4 videos this week. And this prediction video I was looking forward to doing for quite a while. I know I missed something on probably all 3 of these videos, and that is the end of my E3 prediction video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you're trying to find me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram as the Wenzinator. If you have any questions or concerns, maybe leave a comment of something that I missed on either the Xbox, the Nintendo, or this Sony prediction video. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. And if you're not a subscriber but enjoyed this video today, please consider subscribing for more upcoming content. As always, thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. I really hope you enjoy E3. I hope you have a very exciting time as well as I will be watching these press conferences. Again, thank you, and I will see you all next time.